I crashed out, sold my entire wardrobe, and went to Japan.
Crash out is a slang term that means to lose control, get upset, or do something foolish. It can also mean to commit an act that can lead to serious consequences, like selling the entirety of your wardrobe to then fly out to Japan and maybe not even buy anything.
I can't believe I did that. I sold a lot of good stuff. It's all gone.
Now, I only went to Japan with only bringing the clothes off my bare back. So we must find good deals, clothes that actually fit my 6'2", 200-pound body, and build a functional, interchangeable wardrobe from zero. All with a budget of $4,000 that I made from my crash out. So we must now adventure into the unknown landscape that is secondhand shopping in Japan. Day 1, thrifting. I have to find something because I can't be wearing this for an entire 2-3 weeks that I'm here. So I'm at this vintage and antiques called Top of the Hill. Looks pretty cool, looks promising, so we'll see what I can find. Maybe some good vintage stuff, we'll see. My first impressions of the shop was being overwhelmed by the amount of items being presented to you. Their selection was mostly true vintage from what I saw, and they had hats, shirts, a ton of random old jackets, and old vintage sterling silver. They seemed to have had a lot of random things on sale when I was there, but I didn't end up grabbing anything. Since there was still a second street I wanted to hit first to see what secondhand designer may be hiding from us. But I did try on these 2 leather jackets that range between 80 to 90 bucks, but I passed on them since I don't really see myself using them in my wardrobe that we desperately need to create. Rule 1 when shopping: if you don't really like it, leave it. There will always be something cooler, trust me. But I did do my research because I was curious more about the store, and according to their website description, Top of the Hill is a shop that handles secondhand clothing, vintage, and original selected imported items that Top of the Hill characterizes by culture and fashion in the 1960s and 1970s. According to them, they select unique and high quality items from the United States and Europe that have built culture of that era, which you can clearly see from the visual aesthetics from the store and obviously the curation, as well as even the styling that they actually do with the items that they have with these pictures that I actually found from their websites. And everything that is being shown here can actually be bought at the store. But I ended up leaving empty-handed. Yeah, TV and K actually ended up picking up some stuff.
I got a lock for my chastity belt. It's to lock the chastity belt.
Alright, on to the second street.
As we now make our way to the second street, I couldn't get my eyes off the amount of vintage stores after vintage stores after vintage stores after vintage stores after vintage stores.
Okay, we need to chill. No, we need to go to Second Street.
Okay.
We need to go to Second Street, just see what we have, and then we can check out all the vintage stores.
All right.
But I had to stay focused to finally make it into the second street. Now we find ourselves on the second floor of the second street. Immediately I was presented with a rack of my favorite designer, Yoji. But honestly, the pricing was pretty poop. Things were about 160 plus depending on the item. And besides looking at their pretty cool selection of fun items, Kay found this Edwardian era vest from 1905, which actually was a pretty insane find for only like $3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Old Edwardian.
1905.
But check out this ball bag. Okay, anyway, besides that and this fitted mannequin and their other random staff-picked items hung up on their walls, there wasn't much else to see besides this super cool coat, but that price tag was just not it. Regardless of the things that I found and the price tags that I was looking at, I think it's time for me to leave because there was definitely nothing for me to buy in here. As I was headed out, I noticed this one thing. It was this denim jacket priced at 749,900 yen. Can someone please explain to me why it's priced at this much and if it's an older model? And they had a ton of these just sitting up on their walls. So expensive. Anyway, our mission continues, which leads us down to this lineup of random vintage stores, which again, their curation is pretty amazing. They have a lot of interesting jackets, like this jean jacket, for example, which was pretty cool, but definitely not something JQ would buy, so it's a pass. I also contemplated buying this Carhartt hunting jacket in this nice green color, but I ended up also passing on it. And I know you guys might be questioning on why I'm even looking at color, because I usually wear all black, but hey, this green Carhartt jacket was pretty interesting, and I'm totally okay with wearing color, as you might see later down in the line of what I pick up. As we continue going on our journey, my card has yet to be used at any of these shops until we finally made it to this one place where I found this work jacket for around 170 bucks. The paneling was really interesting and I couldn't pass it up, so I ended up purchasing it. It definitely was worth buying so I could switch out the trench coat I was wearing because it was too heavy for how semi-cool it was. The weather was not good for how heavy my trench coat was, so it made a lot more sense for me to purchase this. With that being said, we now have a jacket in our inventory, yet we still need pants, button-downs, t-shirts, and some shoes. We ended up passing by a few different vintage shops, like this one called Slut, Little Brother, and this one called Big Time, but nothing good for our wardrobe. But then this leads us to another second street, which had absolutely nothing. With the day turning into night, we rushed into this last store called Don Don Down. At this point, morale was low, and my hopes were destroyed after seeing them charging this much for a Thrasher bucket hat. But with a glimmer of hope, I actually found something. I found these CDG trousers, which ended up not fitting me, and this lovely red Yoji Porom sweater, which actually did fit me. I got both pieces for about 200 bucks. Now this ends it for the day with a total of $370 spent so far, and pretty much only one item being acquired because the CDG pants actually did not fit me. They fit really horribly. I didn't do much shopping on this second day because I got my hair bleached and toned, which almost took the entire day, and you can go and watch that video right here, so make sure to go check it out. Anyway, I ended up visiting all the clusters of Capital stores in the area, which were all quite interesting. The curation and the layouts of each store were unique, and each store had its own distinct character. Each store is labeled very differently. As you can see, one is called Duffel Capital, which has more of a curation of bags from what I was told. And then we also have Capital Legs, which I was told, again, that they hold more pant selection, aka the legs in the name. And then you just have good old Capital, which holds pretty much everything. But each store has exclusively sold items in each one, so you have to make sure to go actually explore all of them yourself, as well as going to just check out the stores. They were all aesthetically and visually different, with not only their curation, but with how they kind of set up their stores. It was really interesting and very fun to actually just go around and even check it out just to kind of do something. But as for me buying anything, they had no pants my size, unfortunately. And all the current Century denim that I was actually looking to buy was completely sold out, which I'm not that surprised because it's a pretty popular item and my size, a size 34, is quite common. The workers did actually end up telling me that all they had laying around were size 30s and 42s, which I'm nowhere close to being, but they did have these store exclusive penis pants. And not only that, they also had the snake whiskey or sake. I'm not sure exactly what was in it, but it was still really cool to see. I even asked to actually try and buy a bottle, but they did say it was only for display, so I unfortunately wasn't able to get my hands on it. I thought it was like a cool piece to maybe even own, but you win some, you lose some. But with that, it pretty much ends day 2 as we had no luck at the Capital stores and couldn't find anything my size, so hopefully on day 3 we can find something to add to our current curation of clothing.
It is 10:10 on a beautiful Tuesday morning at looking like a 45-degree weather. I'm still wearing the same pair of pants. I need to find another pair of pants. Gee, please, I need to be blessed.
On day 3, we hit this location called Ragtag. It's another secondhand designer store just like 2nd Street. But once I entered, I immediately ran over to the Priest section, aka the Yoji section. And while I was browsing through this section, I actually found these 2 beautiful coats that I immediately went to go try on. Now, while I was wearing these 2 coats, I instantly wanted to purchase both of them, but I had to check out the price tag, and they were both around 800 bucks. So unfortunately for this challenge, I had to leave them back on the rack, but I did go back and I ended up finding this Rick Owens turtleneck, and it actually did fit me, so that was an instant purchase. Funny enough, this is actually my first Rick Owens piece that I've ever purchased for 165 bucks. But with that, we finally acquired another garment for an inventory.
Score. 1 shirt up, pants 0. While George buys his tiger shoes, we're gonna go to the 2nd Street, the Rinnenkon, and this other store that are in the same vicinity before they close. But it's crazy popular out here. There's a ton of tourists. Look at the 2 tourists right here.
Now, when I was in 2nd Street, I actually ended up finding this Yoji trench coat for $236.
I don't really know how to feel about this. The arms are kind of tight, which I don't really mind too much. The back piece though, it's pretty nice, but I don't know.
I bought it. After the 2nd Street, I went across the street to this place called Brand Collect, which was super random. I actually just ended up finding this place. And they had these pair of brand new Rick Geth pants in my size for 444 bucks, which I did end up purchasing.
You know what they say about when in Japan, you just, I don't know, they say things, but I'm buying it.
With day 3 coming to a close and $845 being spent, this leads us to day 4.
$10,000.
A bajillion dollars.
Total so far spent, $1,215.
Hey everybody. I'm back after New Year's, and I thought all the stores were dead, so I didn't bring my camera because there was nothing to really film. But I ended up going to Second Street, and it was open, and they're doing a sale, so it's like 20% off anything over 1,000 yen. So I went, and guess what? I actually found stuff that fits me, and I got this undercover vest. As you can see, I'm wearing it with a hood, and then I also got this button down that actually fits me as well. It's really nice. It's a Wise for Men. I got it for $100. But today, since Second Street is open, I'm gonna be going to all the Second Streets and scouring and see what I can find. Yeah. And then maybe I'll show like some of the other vintage stores or whatever else that is here. Obviously everyone knows what Second Streets look like, so I'm gonna try and keep the filming to a minimal to keep you entertained, you know. But yeah, let's go.
On day 4, I of course headed back to a Second Street, which actually has blessed us with another fascinating trench coat by Junya Watanabe.
I'm gonna try it on.
So the thing with this coat was it makes it appear as if you're wearing another coat on top of another coat, and the coat that's on top of that coat is hanging off your shoulders. So it's kind of layered. And it really makes me feel like a One Piece character, so that's definitely why I have to buy it. And you wouldn't believe the price tag on this. It was only $200. So after spending $200 at the Second Street, I made my way to a jewelry store which had a curation of Native American sterling silver pieces that I of course didn't purchase because I'm not really looking for accessories just yet. Regardless, it was still fun to see the selection they had and just to check around the store and see what maybe I could have bought, but again, I just wasn't really interested in any of the pieces being shown. After that, we went to a Kindle, but it was closed for some reason, so we made our way down and found this little vintage store that had some very beautiful vintage pieces. Like for example, this old hunting jacket that once again I almost pulled the trigger on buying, but the price just was not within my budget. I actually am really sad that I had to leave this piece, and I really did wish I went to go buy it, but I was still considering that there was probably other cooler things around. And again, back to rule number 1, if you don't really like it, don't buy it. There's always going to be something cooler. So I had to leave it. Now from there, we exited and went down the steps and immediately just hit the streets to immediately go right back home to drop off all the stuff we purchased. And I really wanted to wear the new trench coat that I acquired. And before I put that on, let me show you what I was wearing.
Okay, full body.
But I will go and change now. Oh, I also forgot, I did also purchase these trousers for $50. They're, I think, 70s. George was telling me they were a pair of 60s, 70s trousers. They're pretty old, but they did fit me really well, and it was a good purchase to buy for only $50. Can't really be mad at that. Now, after getting geared up and immediately heading out to another Second Street, all I have to say is...
Second Street was balls.
What are your thoughts about this place?
Zara.
On our 5th day of Japan, we hit a rare flea market that only happens twice a year. And the only reason I went to this flea market was because of a handsome, humble viewer recognizing me and telling me about this flea market. So we woke up extra early to go out and hopefully find some good deals.
What are you wearing?
I've got my birthday present, Yoji coin purse for the cash at the flea market today. I've got my Nike Air Riffs, Moyaru Japanese branded skirt and a millimeter skirt, new pickup from yesterday, Comme des Garçons layered silk and knit top, and then vintage coat in my bag.
Wow, so cool.
Sugoi!
As we were headed out there, we had to grab a little coffee and a snack, which was only $6 USD. And God, do I miss these Japanese pricing, because New York would have charged at least $15 for what I got. I will say this coffee and the snacks that we got were so good. Nothing comparable to New York, but I'm gonna stop glazing Japan. Anyway, after our coffee trip, we immediately walked into this park and walked and walked and walked, and then we climbed up some stairs to get to this bridge, and we finally reached our destination, which was the flea market.
This is insane. So many people.
Stepping into the flea market, you get a ton of vintage clothes in piles, random electronics, jewelry, this deer's foot knife, and even a gun. Airing out the flea market in Japan. I didn't record this, but I bought this leather jacket for 6,000 yen, and I was out of cash, which forced me to rush over to an ATM and pull out more money since I was told there was a stall selling Capital. After I rushed over to go to this Capital stall, I finally made it, looked through everything, and I pretty much got all the t-shirts that I ever would need in my wardrobe. And I spent about 40,000 yen on this haul. Now you might be questioning, did I explore more of the market? Of course I did. There was some cool stuff, but I just pretty much didn't want to buy anything after that huge haul of Capital stuff I bought. But I did help George get some discounts on this chain wallet and this Vivian lighter that I spotted in a random pile.
Giant bag of stuff. Thank you, Japan.
We're chilling with the crows. They're huge. They're so big.
Is that even real?
After showing off some of our finds, we immediately headed to get some breakfast.
Corners. Looks so good.
All for 10,000. Wow.
Then some coffee.
Where's the couch? Oh, in the corner on the other side.
Strong coffee gets you wired
I think it's good.
for 1,400 yen.
And from there, we ended the night with some nice sushi. I ended that day spending about 340 bucks, and our new grand total is 2,060 bucks so far being spent on day 5.
We are leaving the Airbnb.
On day 6, we had to gather all our stuff into a taxi, and now we were on our way to the next Airbnb, which was in Harajuku.
And this is all my stuff with that big bag over that red bag.
I went a little too insane, but let's go to the next Airbnb.
We didn't do much this day besides visit this huge thrift shop called Kinji, and at this point I was pretty tired of shopping, so I did none of that this day, and we purchased a total of no clothes. But personally, I think that's good just in general, since we have to save our money for next week, since we have more shopping to go and hopefully buy more stuff for my wardrobe. But keep in mind that Capital Haul pretty much gave me all the tops in my wardrobe that I really need, but I'm still in the hunt for some denim and some boots.
Now, we're out, but imagine that one store. There's millions of stores just in this area. That is why Japanese people dress so good. They have access to insane stuff constantly. But now we're gonna get food. But that was just like my thought, just in general. So I was walking last night and I had a little oopsie. And the oopsie caused me my guides. As you can see, there is a tear on my guides. Yep, that happened. It only broke through the first layer skin, which you can kind of see. It's a boo-boo. I'm gonna probably need to take that to a cobbler when I get back to New York City and probably get it super glued back on or see what they can do. I don't really know. I had to switch to these bad boys as I'm gonna be wearing these guides now for the remainder of the trip until I find another pair of shoes, if I even find any. But I don't know. Today we're gonna go get food and just walk around and do some fragrance shopping. Not that bad. It's probably the first coffee I don't really, it's whatever.
This is kind of whatever.
But then after that, we immediately found this Ground Y store and they were doing a sale, so I decided to try on some pants because like I said, it's really hard for me to find pants that actually fit me, considering the fact that I'm a decently sized American man. After failing to fit any of those Ground Y pants,
It's also really short. Yeah, I'm not gonna have a good time finding any pants out here. Rough.
that ends it for day 7, which leads us to day 8. So, on day 8, we ended up making a last-minute decision to leave Tokyo and board a bullet train to go to Kyoto.
And now we have landed in Kyoto, and I guess we are going to go to our capsule hotel and see what we will do there. But we made it on time and not late, so that's a good thing. First coffee in Kyoto, and it's kind of mid.
After we dropped off our stuff at the hostel, we immediately went to the Capital store to check out if they had any denim because I was really in dire need of a pair of good denim pants.
We came out from the Capital store right now, cooking. I found the last size 38. The last size 38, they said everything was sold out. They lied to me. There was a size 38, I found it. I asked to try it on. I tried it on, as you can see, as me wearing it now. It fit perfect. Nice length, nice width. Well, the length was too long. I'm getting them hemmed for free. I spent, I think, $150, $140 on the jeans. Got them hemmed personally. Super sick, great experience. Oh. I don't know if I can show that.
That's a little... I don't know about that.
Wow, okay, anyway.
As we waited for our Capital pants to be hemmed, we then went to this Kindle, and I was in luck because I found some Rick pieces that I wanted to try on.
So we're gonna try all these on and see what fits me. This is crazy, but does not fit me. Sad. The arms are so tight. Rick is for like tiny people, man, not for big guys. This is a crazy design though. Sad it doesn't fit. This actually fits my arms. It's a little tight. Oop. The booty. Little dump truck here, but it's a little tight, but it's not bad. With the right fit, this looks sick. I actually really like this. Dude. It actually fits me. So I don't know. It fits, but it's ugly. It's not me. I might just pass on like these two other things. I might try it on, but I think I might get the wax jacket.
And after trying on some of the pieces, I ended up just buying the Rick jacket for $230, which wasn't too bad. And it was because it fit me really well compared to the other things that I tried on, and it was pretty much my style. I did stick around to sort through their Yoji stuff, and they did have some cool things, but everything was just not to my liking price-wise.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know about that price, 70,000 yen.
So I passed up on everything and left the store, and we continued on to another store called Fascinate.
Yeah, I've been following these people on Instagram for a long time. I'm so excited to check it out.
Which I've actually been following this store on Instagram for a few years now, and I've always wanted to visit them, so I finally had the chance to check them out in Kyoto. Now, according to their About Me, their Fascinate Kyoto location is a select shop located right next to Kyoto's, don't know how to say that, station. I definitely would butcher however that was meant to be said, but the location is in the city, but the shop is nestled in an alleyway with a Japanese garden in the courtyard. It is a space where you can relax and shop away from the hustle and bustle of the city, from famous brands such as Maison Margiela and Yoji to up-and-coming domestic brands. They also have their own blog on their website talking about what's coming into their curation, and also not to mention they also have 2 other store locations that you can also check out. Regardless of all that, I was super excited to check them out and be able to look at their selection of designers they've collected. And I'm telling you, their curation had a ton of beautiful pieces, but nothing I was willing to buy. I will say the one thing about the Fascinate store was they also did have some fragrance there that I got to actually smell. I don't really remember the brand it was, and I didn't film any of that portion of me actually smelling these fragrances, but besides their clothes, they have a pretty interesting jewelry selection, as well as just bags in general. I pretty much just window shopped, which I really hate doing, but we ended up having to leave because I needed to grab my hemmed Capital pants from the store, to then head to our hostel to finally get the rest we much needed, which closes out day 8. With the Capital pants being $140 and the Rick jacket being $230, that brings the total amount today spent at $370, and our new total is $2,430. Day 9, aka day 2 in Kyoto, we finally wake up. And since we stayed out pretty late on day 8, but we only had enough time to check out this denim shop called Yamane, I think that's how you pronounce it. And they had a ton of selections with various different cuts, and I got to try on these one-of-ones, which I did not buy, and the reason being was it was just priced at $400. Which is not something I'm really willing to spend, and I'm not that big of a denim head, so. Besides that, the pants also fit very strange. They were a size 36 and I'm a 34, and it had some bubble butt going on the backside, so even if I really wanted to buy these pants and ball out and spend $400, it would have fit me really weird and strange, so I definitely had to pass on them.
Cool guy over here.
What are you wearing today?
We got Capital,
Capital.
we got Burgess, we have Capital, John Bull.
Visible. How much?
So we got
$5.
$2, 30 cents, $10. 14.
Those ones are free. You found them in the trash.
I did.
400. 300. 20. I don't know.
I paid
Hun-
the 150
200.
for these.
150 and
Yeah.
then 200.
250.
250. Yeah. Quick fit pick before we hit the Labo. Give me this phone. I take pick quick.
But after that pretty much ended our Kyoto trip and we dipped right back to Tokyo. And just like that, it's day 10 and we only have 2 more days in Tokyo to spend to hopefully build up a decent sized wardrobe. But as you guys know, I pretty much got a decent amount of clothes so far, but let's see what else I can find. With 2 days left, we headed to the Nemeth store to see if I could find something of my liking.
Currently, I am now at the Nemeth store, and we're gonna be trying some things on.
So I did go into the store a few days ago trying on a few things, but personally everything was firsthand, which means it's pretty pricey. But I will say this wool coat for 800 bucks was pretty tempting, yet I have no need for this end tier item, not right now. Because again, wool coats, they're kind of something that stays in your wardrobe pretty timelessly, and I will say this coat fit me very, very nicely. Probably would not find another cut of coat just like this, and it is a perfect oversized coat just to throw onto anything and pretty much hide the entirety of your outfit, if that's what you're going for. But I passed up on it. But I will say, I ended up buying this moleskin button down with this beautiful random button details. Each button was different in the entirety of the full garment, which was really interesting, as well as this very Victorian puffiness on the sleeves.
Look at the details. That's crazy. Look, I look at the hole.
And you might be asking, how much was the shirt? And it was 220 bucks, tax-free. And with that being added into my wardrobe, that ended the day of shopping, which leads us into day 11, the Tokyo flea market.
We are here at the giant Tokyo vintage Rose Bowl.
Now, you might be questioning, you went to a flea market already, but that flea market only happens twice a year. This flea market, on the other hand, happens every weekend, so it's pretty common. And it's a lot bigger because around 200 sellers come to this market to sell vintage pieces, old magazines, knives, gun mags, jewelry, animal pellets, and even old toys. Which I actually ended up buying two boxes of just, I don't even remember what I bought, but here they are on screen. But even with all these very cool pieces, I refrained from being tempted by the gods of consumption, and I bought nothing for my wardrobe here, so I left empty-handed. And I will say, I did find these Bape denim pants that I was questioning on buying because they were my size, but what ended up happening was this Japanese girl ended up grabbing them because I was still questioning on whether I wanted them or not, and she ended up buying them for, I have no clue how much it was. But that was probably my biggest regret. I probably should have bought them.
The vintage market was full of vintage.
Oh, that was so good.
The flea market, did I like it? Kind of.
There were no fleas. No fleas.
That ends it for today. Because now I'm gonna be filming all the fragrance stuff that we're gonna go do. You smell actually, you smell really bad. This whole trip you smelled.
Smelled good.
But on this day, we actually did end up fragrance shopping and picked up a ton of smells, which you can watch me do when I release that video later. So be on the lookout for that. And remember to subscribe, like, and hit the post notification button, please. And with that, that pretty much ends day 11. Wow, we are finally on day 12, and with this being my last day and $13.50 begging to be spent, I needed to try and finalize my wardrobe with some shoes or boots of some sort. So we headed into Kindle in Ginza, which led me to find this Rick piece that I ended up trying on and feeling like a final boss, but I didn't end up buying it since it was 80,000 yen, and again, it's just not what we were looking for, so I continued searching, and I searched until I finally found these studded boots from Loewe, I don't know how to pronounce that. And they were priced for 120 bucks in my size, and on top of that great deal, I actually spotted these brand new Balenciaga Trooper derbies for 300 bucks in my size as well. And with the remainder of my money, I bought both boots for 420 bucks tax-free. And I will say, I left pretty happy and pretty fulfilled with those two purchases that I was in need of, which now brings our total amount of money spent at roughly $3,000 for my Japan wardrobe. And now with all my loot, I finally fly back to NYC with a giant bag of stuff. And now it's time to show you what $3,000 gets you in Japan.
Here's my new wardrobe. All in this bag here. Let's check it out. So let's quickly run through it all very quickly, very fast, very quickly, very fast, very quickly, very, very, very fast. Montage now. Yoji Por Om red shirt. Capital button down. Also has a little pocket on the armpit. Capital white big boxy t-shirt. Polo, yeah. Capital brown polo. Rick Owens turtleneck with back whatever, but Rick Owens. Yoji button down with a nice cool collar. Gray Yoji, I guess cardigan of some sort. It's also asymmetrical. Pretty cool. I don't know. Nemeth button down with random buttons. It's all moleskin. Big puffy sleeves with the very long, what is it, like cuff? Yeah. Pretty cool. Yoji button down. It's very long and it has pockets on the inside right here. And it has a detachable collar, which you can see it unattaches. So undercover wool vest with pockets on kangaroo pockets. This is obviously a layering piece. Random workwear jacket. I wore this quite often with interesting paneling as well throughout the piece here. I also put this Nemeth button on, so this doesn't come with the jacket, but super sick jacket, love it. It's wool, it's some Japanese workwear brand, I have no clue, called Not Gatekeeping, there you go. A leather vintage jacket, but it's from this brand. That is a beautiful piece, it's super cool. But as you can see, the leather needs to be conditioned, it's pretty dry, and yeah, I will condition it. Watch my leather care video. Rick Owens waxed denim jacket. Very cool. Capital t-shirt with leather jacket print. Brown. Capital t-shirt with baby pocket and big pocket. Capital Africa long sleeve. Just says Africa. I don't know, not much else to say about it. If you have seen my streams before, go watch my Twitch streams. You will have seen this slur t-shirt. Here it is. It says, in the front and on the back it says, "Bury me standing." It fits very nicely, but yeah, I don't know, Capital. Capital destroyed tank top, I guess. I'm probably gonna get this repaired. Just absolutely mangled, destroyed. Capital Hippies Mexico. And it has like a train graphic, but it's really faded. 60s, 70s wool trousers. They're pinstriped, pretty nice, or striped, or whatever. They're striped pants. The Rick Owens Geth pants that you guys saw me buy and wear, and then the Capital denim pants that I really loved. And yeah, they were really sick finds, I can't lie. I was really happy with the Capital denim and the Geth pants. The 70s trousers, I'm still debating on what I want to do with them, but they're still really good finds. Onwards to shoes. We only got 2 pairs. Loewe's, whatever, boots. Yep. Very good find, and also not that damaged. There's not that much wear in them, to be honest. And last but not least, my biggest boots, the Balenciaga Trooper Derbies in a size 12. Balenciaga boots, yeah. And with the Balenciagas to end the show, that basically is everything that I purchased for the $3,000 that we did spend in Japan. Honestly, pretty good come-ups, I can't lie. That's pretty much everything. There's nothing else I can show off besides the fragrances, but that will be for a different video. And before I go, let me know down below what was your most favorite piece and what was the ugliest piece that you think I probably wouldn't wear and I should probably sell. Yeah, give me your opinions. Rip them to shreds. I don't know. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next video. Remember to look out for that fragrance video and a few other Japan videos I got planned. And I am coming back with a vengeance. I will be posting more often, more frequently. I have unfriended all my friends in real life to dedicate my life to sit here and edit until I am tired of it. And yeah, but remember to go check out my Twitch streams, Patreon link in bio, Twitch link in bio, and Discord is also link in bio. Catch me up in there sometimes, we'll see. But I'd like to see you guys on the Twitch. We have a great time over there, and we have some funny moments, and I got doxxed as well when I was there, but this is more...
Actually, we're gonna go... Let's see what time I have to leave here.
It's 3:30.
I want to be there by...
And with that, fill the void with hopefully all my videos. So make sure to check out one of these videos, and see ya.